Hi guys, welcome back to CP Mom and Daughter, where we talk about all things related to disability and cerebral palsy. Today I would like to talk about just how adaptable people with cerebral palsy learn to become. Specifically speaking from my own experience, I can't speak for everybody, but I know over the years I have learned how to adapt and figure out what works, what doesn't, and So I started off with years and years of therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, went to all that, tried many different things. And this is mainly speaking to my left arm today. So my wonderful, lovely parents, we would be sitting at the dinner table at supper, and they'd be like, okay, put your hand on the table, put it down flat, make sure you're using your left hand, straighten out your left arm. Like, these are things that I would hear all the time. And as I've learned and as I've grown, yes, I can use it when I need to. Yes, I can use it to an extent, but my left arm, as you can see here, has its limitations. So you can turn over your hand like this, right? My left arm, left hand, that's about the range of motion. And when I'm tired, my arm is up like this. I can straighten it most of the way, but as you can see, my elbow is still somewhat bent. And, but I've learned how to get pants on, zip them up, button, all those things, zip a jacket. I can, completely feed myself. Now, granted, a lot of the things I do are dominated by my right hand, but I can still do those tasks that take two hands. I can tie my shoes, I can cut up meat. A lot of my friends and family will still offer to do that for me just because it takes me forever. Excuse me. But I have figured out ways over the years how to do things. I've adapted it. I love what my father-in-law used to say. He's like, leave her alone. She'll figure out her way. She'll figure out how to do it her way. And that's essentially what I've done, because not everything can be done with just one hand. A lot can, and I'm very, very thankful for that. But when I've needed to use my left hand and left arm, I have figured out ways to do it. Now, am I perfectly doing it the way that society might expect me to do it? No. Am I perfectly doing it the way that my parents probably hoped and dreamed that I would do it? No. Did all those years of occupational therapy pay off in super duper ways? That's debatable. But the point is, I have figured out how to adapt. I have made my world and my life accessible for the most part. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't still areas that I struggle in. For example, to this day, and this is mostly my right hand, opening up a brand new jar rarely happens for me. A lot of times I have to ask my husband to help me with that, which is fine. I can open up a can of Coke, a bottle of Coke, all those things, but when it comes to like pickle jar or spaghetti sauce jar or those kind of things, a lot of times I do have to ask for help. You're not gonna see me carrying a cup in my left hand. You're not going to see me carrying a plate in my left hand. What I I teach. So when I go to the school cafeteria and get my food, if it's a plate plus a bowl, I will go and sit the plate down first and then go back and get the bowl. Or I'll go and sit the bowl down first and then go back and get the plate. I don't do everything in one trip. And it works. Now, is it always going to work that easily in a given situation? No, probably not. But currently, our cafeteria situation, like it's a very short distance from the window you get your food at to where when you go and sit down. So again, it works for me. I've learned a lot of times that I can't, multitask like others might here because it's so sunny and hot. A lot of times people will be walking and they'll have an umbrella and then they'll have their other stuff in their other hand. I don't have the strength in my left arm to hold that umbrella, so I just walk without it. Now, I get looks constantly. They're like, oh, you're not shading yourself from the sun. I'm like, I'll be fine. It's totally fine. So that is just some ways that I've learned to adapt and figure things out around my left arm. Now, are there moments when I'm like, oh, this would be easier if I was able to use both hands? Yes. Are there still moments of frustration? Of course. I think there always will be. But to assume that because a person has a disability, that they're not going to be able to adapt and figure out how to do things, I feel like that's giving them more limitations and more of a disability than they deserve. Because everybody that has a disability, either them themselves know, or those that are helping care for them full time, know and understand adapting to this world is our lives. Because this world wasn't made for people with disabilities, and it's not set up for us perfectly, so we know and understand that we're going to have to adapt, we're going to have to work around things, and that there's going to be difficult days, but that's okay. So there you go. I just wanted to talk about my left arm today, and just some different things that I have learned to adapt and do, because physical therapy and occupational therapy weren't a fix-all for me, and that's fine. So I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye. God bless.